Hello there, good evening, and thank you so much for being part of Joy Asonye Live this beautiful, beautiful evening. Well, in an era that is marked by rapid technological advancement, it is imperative for governments worldwide and especially across Africa to leverage technology to address the critical issues of growing youth unemployment with an increasing number of young individuals seeking employment opportunities. Governments are faced with the unique challenges to create sustainable economic growth and ensure equitable distribution of opportunities. This requires a comprehensive understanding of the current employment landscape, the ability to harness technology effectively. In this episode, today's episode of Joy Asonye, we explore statistical trends and challenge governments across Africa face in leveraging technology to tackle growing unemployment. Now, to discuss all of this, all the way from Mali, Bamako, Mali, is Tidiani Togola. He's the CEO, founder, Tuwindi Foundation. He will be reaching us via Skype. Hello, Tuwindi.
Hello.
Yeah, CEO Tuwindi, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much for having me and for this time.
Yes, it's wonderful to know that you're there, but we are talking technology this evening, and I know that the Tuwindi is a pioneering civic tech organization based in Mali, dedicated to using information and communication technologies to create positive and sustainable impact in smart cities and territories. So let's talk technology, especially the concern of growing youth unemployment. Now let's talk about what your organization does, what the foundation does. That's the Tuwindi Foundation. What exactly do you do?
Well, Tuwindi is a civic tech organization. We're based in Africa, Mali, and we are focused on three key areas, election and governance. The second area is media development, and the third one is digital economy. So we work a lot across the continent to support different governance activities, citizen participation, advocacy using technology. And for the specific case for the election, for example, we help with election observation using mobile technology and internet. For the specific side of media development, we help media for the digital transition, training journalists, and of course, organizing also some important awards to encourage those who are really practicing very well. In terms of digital economy, we work on cyber, what we call the e-agriculture, and also e-health.
Now let's talk about the component of elections, and we'll get to the several other things that your organization does. But elections, how receptive are governments across Africa to embrace technology? Very often when you observe African elections, it's characterized by so much corruption and discrepancies. And we know how transparent technology can make elections. However, many African governments will not embrace this. But in your work, how has African governments embraced technology?
Well, most of them accept, they are open to accept, particularly when the initiative comes from civil society organizations. And of course, it depends also on the level of how we want to use technology. For example, for the election observation in certain country, it's not allowed to bring a mobile phone in a polling station.
Okay.
Or sometimes we need to collect data directly from the polling station to ensure that we have the data in real time and that we're able to process and even to raise awareness when there is some issue. But depending on the country, it can be well received or not well received. It depends a lot. And also the most important thing, we've the use of technology is also this capacity that the civil society and also the society in general will have in terms of, voter educations and also being able to make the process transparent. Of course, again, some country doesn't allow doesn't allow certain type of use of technology, even if this contributes to make the process much more transparent.
Well, we've seen that especially in African countries. However, civil society, in the countries where you are even allowed to observe and you are allowed to use your mobile phones and technology to monitor, after that,
Hello?
what? When you see these discrepancies that are often characterize these elections, are you able to make an impact for a change?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. It was cutted.
Yes, I said, so for countries that allow you use technologies to observe the elections and you notice discrepancies and your report comes out and it's all obvious, are you able to still make impactful changes? Are they receptive to those changes as a
Yes,
civil
absolutely.
Society?
Yes, as a civil society, yes, it makes important impact, because the first, for example, when we take the election violence, because they know we collect information on real time, and we raise awareness about all the issues that are on the ground, then they will accept, they will sometimes they are really very open to it. It helps them, and also in terms even of improving, the link between the civil society and the government, particularly the election organization bodies. Let's say that it is a kind of journey of advocacy to convince them that it's important to work together.
That's very interesting. But you talked about, let's go now to the other component of what the Tuwindi organization does, which is capacity building for journalists. I saw that, I think you trained about 144 recently.
Yes, we organize a lot of training actually, and even right now I am not in Bamako. I'm in Segu, for example, for training journalists from all the region of Mali. Yes, so the thing for us is that if we want an inclusive society, and if we want the freedom of expression and the media freedom, press freedom, we need to also very well train journalists, so they can be quality journalists, so they can they can write, and they can report quality information based on the truth. For that specific reason, we engage to training them in the fundamental of journalism, but also in how they can use technology to do their work, or even to conduct some investigative journalism. And particularly today, it's even much more important, because we are in the era of artificial intelligence. So we are trying to train them so they can be a better journalist, particularly in this era of ICTs.
Okay, now let's get to our unemployment problem in Africa. That's something several governments across Africa are trying to tackle. And experts would always say, technology is the next oil. It's just as viable. What do you think? Do you think that technology can provide as many jobs as it is often advertised for?
Technology is a huge opportunity for those who are willing to open to them, and for those who doesn't want to go to them, those will kind of be they are kind of condemned. They have to let's say in Africa, what we call the informal sector of work is mainly occupied by young people, and most of them are even under 25 or under 30. And according to some statistics, we have even 90% of those young people who are actually working in the informal sector. So what they have as opportunity is they can do all type of business through it. Those who develop technological solution can sell it. Those who are just using technological solution. Today we see many young people doing, business on WhatsApp business or even on Facebook and sell things. The different training that they can have. So technology definitely give opportunity to young people to get job and to even get very well paid. In terms of example, let's take this let's take the Indian example. Many Indian young software developer develop software for companies based in in Western countries, which is also start to be the case in Africa. I don't have statistics about the African case, but it is also possible. We don't need, for example, to be physically in a specific country to to work inside this country. We can provide our service without being in this country, which is one opportunity. And let's take also those brave ladies who work in in rural area. They can use their phone to sell products they are making in the rural area, to sell it to a better market and have a better value on what they are doing. So definitely ICTs, technology in general, are giving space and new opportunities to young people from Africa.
Technology requires a certain skill set, at least to a certain level. What would you say, how would you say technology can be utilized to bridge the gap between those required skills and those that possess the youth? Do we have enough trainings for young people so that they can indeed really leverage on the many potentials in technology?
Yeah, there is a need to train young people in how they can have the basic skills to to deal in the digital space. That is something, and most of the digital technology that are available today are quite easy to use, meaning we don't especially need people to go to school or to have a long-term training. Let's say those who use WhatsApp to do business. Nobody teach someone how to use WhatsApp. Those who are using Facebook to do business, nobody teach them how to use Facebook to do business. All the question is, we need maybe young people to be well trained on entrepreneurship, so they can have better skills, because finally the technology themselves, for them sake, are most a kind of, if you want, a highway where everybody can take to do business. So we need them to know the rule of doing business. This is something. And there is other challenges which doesn't actually depend on the young people. For example, we don't have enough good infrastructure. We still not have infrastructure to conduct business in in Africa. Particularly when you go in rural area, you just very quickly can see that in this area, those people are kind of suffering because they don't have internet, or they don't have good internet.
Exactly.
Or you will see them don't have enough electricity, and we also have the cost of the cost of technology. If you want to use your data, it's not free. Data is not free. It means in our country we need to invest in infrastructure. We need to invest to have the capacity also to do business, online business within the country, which is something very important. So the country has to develop their own capacity. And there are some more big challenges. For example, for startup in many countries, there is no rules for, or there is no law that supports startup and organization who are in tech business and who are starting. So this is something that we need to address, but not only at the people level, but we need to address those top questions at the governmental level or even at the international level.
Okay, that's very interesting. We have so much still to discuss concerning how to leverage technology to tackle unemployment in Nigeria. We've had all the way from Bamako, Mali, Tidiani Togola, the CEO founder Tuwindi Foundation. We'll be back after this very short break. When we return, we'll talk about the Mali and Nigerian situation. You will get to discuss what the peculiarities are when it comes to youth engagement in technology. We'll be back after this. This is still Joy Asonye Live. Welcome back. This is still Joy Asonye Live, where we've been discussing with Tidiani Togola. He's the founder CEO to Tuwindi Foundation. He's been reaching us all the way from Bamako, Mali, and we've been having a very interesting conversation talking about leveraging technology to tackle this growing youth unemployment in Nigeria and Africa. He's reaching me all the way from Mali, so it'll be interesting to know if we have peculiarities as to the challenges we face. Our government also having the same challenges here in the country in ensuring that we are implementing a technology-driven solutions for addressing this menace of unemployment. Well, that's the question. I would just get straight to Togola to answer. Togola, are you there? Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
I'm here. Fantastic. I mean, you're reaching us all the way from Mali. It would be nice to know, do you have the same problems we have here when it comes to government solution-driven initiatives for youth unemployment, especially looking the way of technology?
Yeah, we have almost the same problem. We have almost the same challenges in terms of the government, the governmental bodies in general for youth employment, and for the specific case of the digital area, the challenge is, the first, according to me, the first challenge is that the government most of the time don't have a very clear vision in terms of what to do for the young people and how to leverage on the ICTs, how to take profit and benefit from the technology, particularly for the creation of jobs for the young people. So we do have the same challenge.
Does it also concern you that when you leave the shores of Africa, very often when you hear about African youths, it's all about all the many wrong things, what young people are using technology for? We are known to be hackers, we are known to be scammers as Africans. Does it concern you that we're not using the positive sides of technology and ICT?
Yeah, when people said that type of thing, I just said Africa is really having a great opportunity. People like me are working every day to bring solutions and to even be key players. The best civic tech solutions goes from Africa, and they are in Africa. Let's take in Kenya, where they have these Ushahidi solutions. That is one of the first that have been used for election observation and for monitoring violence. It goes from Africa. It's not the US or the European technology. And even let's take the specific case of mobile money. The mobile money business is very well developed in Africa, and even our experience is very inspiring for other Western country. For example, let's take the case for M-Pesa, which is a very good experience. We do have for other telecommunication company, but the first experience of it comes from Africa. So, and most of the time, those who are behind those solutions are African. When we take the specific case, for example, for Tuwindi, we've been developed more than 19 technology in almost all the area in terms of election observation, agriculture, health, security in different areas. So, and those solutions are using by many people. Some people even don't know that there is a young African behind it. So, the thing is, in Africa, we need just to have a good policy, to give much more confidence and much more support in the African organization and young African who are bringing concrete answer to our African issues.
Well, let's talk about that agricultural component to it. It's very interesting. Africa enjoys arable land, and it is one of our biggest potentials, agriculture. However, we are seeing young people tilt away from agriculture, especially in Africa, because when you talk agriculture in Africa, very often it's still the cutlass and hoe method. We have not industrialized or gone or mechanized rather our agricultural component. So how are you able to still attract young people into agriculture using the ICT and technology?
Well, we have developed solutions that is used, that put in touch the producer and the client. So the young people can use this technology, for example, to those who are producing can just sell the product through this platform as they are doing like on WhatsApp. This is one thing. A second thing is also using the technology. They now know different techniques. They now know how to apply different practices in terms of improving, and they just know it through YouTube. They go on YouTube and see different techniques, and they know how to apply it. This is a second element. A third element also is they using also the technology. They are able to have trainings in terms of agriculture practices. This is something. In terms also of even the treatment of the land, they can use some drone, to fertilize in a very, very best manner their land. So these are some practices that we are using here and that almost all young Africans can use. And even the automatization process, in our engineering schools, in most of the engineering schools, they can easily teach people how to use the electronic, not particularly for the irrigation process, so we can have a better use of water for the different lands. So there is so many things that exist, and we just need indeed to put them in practice. And those young people can go even on YouTube or other platform to learn how to develop solutions like that.
Okay. But are they interested? Because that's one of the problems back here in Africa, in Nigeria especially, that we face. Young people interested in even getting their hands to learn skills such as ICT skills. It's very often they just want the white-collar jobs. Take me to a bank. Give me the suit and tie. Let me just sit there. But are you seeing more young people interested in learning these very important skills?
Well, many of them are not interested, but we need also to have some role models that will show them you want to be a billionaire. Okay, you guys have to feed people. If people are well fed, then you will be a billionaire. It just easy like that. It means if you have a land and if you work properly in your land, and then you have, using technology, you have a much broader opportunity, to do business. Let's take the some products that we have here, like moringa or other products that are actually buy by the big industry, pharmaceutical industry. We should also open, the space, showing we need role model, as I say, and we also need some mentorship, and we need to have even better connection with those who already are very well established. So that's how we can support young people. It's clear right now some of them are not very confident in it, but yes, we should definitely support them.
And our education system, we still have curriculums that still back into 1970s and way before colonial masters came, or during the colonial masters in the introduction of education. Have we looked into, getting our curriculums to contemporary methods or contemporary needs as the world is, as the landscape for employment is right now? Because in Africa, we're still learning what a mouse is in papers, when nobody these days even needs a mouse or a monitor, So what are we doing in changing our curriculum from the primary schools and basic education?
We need to change the curriculum to adapt it to the need of the market, and we even need to change the mindset. We need to address our problem, and also we need to be aware that Africa today is totally different from Africa
many years ago.
So we also have to deal with this globalization, and we also have to know the different opportunities. That's why the technology are really very important. We need to have the capacity to control the technology and to be a key player, and not only to Africa itself is a big market and a big opportunity environment for young people, and we need really to change. I do agree with you, to change the curriculum so it can be much more relevant for the need of the market.
Now let's talk about artificial intelligence. For those who are skeptical or even afraid really to introduce artificial intelligence, telling you, giving you excuses such as this is a technology that will come take away already little jobs that we have. What would be your say in that? Is artificial intelligence, ICT, technology going to create more jobs or take away the little that we have?
Artificial intelligence, like all big new technology, comes with challenges and opportunities, and I think that's why we need to learn it. We need to play to be a key player of it. For me, it's going to create a new opportunity. It's going to create a new job. For now, I don't know what will be the form of those jobs. But of course, it's clear that many different actors will also be kind of losing their job. Let's take the case for those who do the repetitive job work, like account or those type of people. Yes, of course, they definitely need to see how they can take what can be the job for them, the job for the future job. It's very important. So for me, it is much more an opportunity. Those who will just refuse to adapt will just be a victim of it.
Well, victim of it, but when a large number is still archaic in their way of thinking, would it affect Africa when we are not embracing this with all our hearts and having government intentional with political will to embrace it? What's the danger in it if we do not move with the world?
Sorry, can you repeat? I wasn't clear.
Okay, what's the biggest danger if Africa does not tune in and follow the world in the trend right now?
It's very clear that if Africa doesn't follow, I mean, for me, Africa should even not follow. Africa has to lead, has to be part of leading stakeholder in terms of defining what will be, the rule,
the future of technology.
Yeah, we need to define the rules. We need to train the African young people so we can even have the African artificial intelligence. We are training today. Most of the artificial intelligence are just in the process of still in a very important process of learning. So we need to to be one of the leading continent in this specific area. We still have so many things, and we have so many things to offer to our continent and to the world, that we should definitely not follow, but lead the process, being part of the leading of the process.
Now, when you look at Africa, I mean, I'm sure you've gone around doing the Tuwindi Foundation work. What country would you say is doing better than the other when it comes to technological advancement and embrace?
Well, we can say it depends on the area. Countries like Kenya or countries like like Ethiopia are really trying. They are really trying. They are making good job. Definitely, we have also some countries from, for example, South Africa. These are countries who are really doing a lot. I'm not saying that other countries are not doing well. Well, I think many other, for example, Nigeria, which is a very big market. Also, I'm sure that there is many initiatives that are also in Nigeria. But for me, let's say there is just a global need of even at the African Union level to support not only those who are really making good, but even those who are now needing to be, who are a little bit late, to support them.
Right. In Africa, most of the young people you find who are into ICT technology are all privately taught. There's no proper structure for, no hub really, no ICT hub where you can go learn and thrive. And we are seeing a lot of young people leave the shores, professionals with skills, leaving Africa. So what would be your suggestion when it comes to, like you said, African Union charting this advocacy for more to be done? Welcome back. This is Joy Asonye Live. We've been discussing leveraging technology for to tackle rather this menace in Africa, which is unemployment. And we've been discussing with Mr. Tidiani Togola. He's reaching us from Bamako, Mali via Skype. Can you hear me now? We had technical issues that I hope we have been able to solve.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Did you get my question, or I should go ahead?
Yes, just please, can you repeat, because I lost the question.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I was talking about young people leaving the shores of Africa, and because we don't have hubs, here ICT hubs here in Africa or in Nigeria. I have not done any research. However, in Nigeria, we don't have proper ICT hubs that young people can really learn so much about. Artificial intelligence, software engineering, and all of that. So what does it concern you that we're seeing skilled and professional or human resources leave the shores of Africa for better education in ICT?
Yeah, ICT should give this hope, and even ICT should do more than that, not just hope, because hope is something we just imagine that we don't necessarily touch. But today ICTs are here. We can touch them. We can do. We have they give opportunities, and that's why our countries, countries different international organizations should develop this specific area. So the young people can have the right skills. Those who doesn't have I mean, we don't need to have all young African being a software developers, but we need to have all young people, all young African people having good access to technology, having the capacity to use them, and having the capacity, to do business with the technology. For example, for the market exchange between Nigeria and Mali, there is some very good product in Nigeria. Some Igala's clothes and the different thing. From Mali, I can just buy them in Nigeria. We then need some good logistics system to bring the products to Mali. And we can have the same thing. We do have a very good rice and good shea butter here that we can sell to people maybe in Namibia or this kind of thing. And all this online, we even will not have very, very huge charge of soaring, for example, for the storage. So I think we need to give good opportunities and to take the hand of those young people who actually don't believe anymore in Africa and in the opportunity that we have here. That's why they want to leave their country. So we need to assist them, and we need to demonstrate and to take them into this business of ICTs.
Okay, now let's focus on what Tuwindi Foundation is doing. Here it says your core values include passion for impact, innovative solutions, excellence and trust, proactive engagement, collaborative spirit. These are all very wonderful, but how are you able to thrive? How do you get funding? Is it easy to get funding to continue this very noble work that you do?
Well, it's not very easy, and my spirit is very clear. If it was easy, we won't do it.
Exactly.
It's because we want to make impact. We want to make change that we are doing this work. And for our specific case, we do receive some grants, but we are not just focused on grant. We do develop solutions that we present to different, partners. And we also try to make solutions that are interesting for many different, people. For example, for the specific agricultural technology or for the health the specific case of health, it is at the same time solution that have a very, very huge social impact, but they also have a business benefit, and these are things that we are doing. When we are training people, we know that we are also making impact, but we are so happy also to see how those people will be part of our Tuwindi community when we are doing other projects. So it's not very easy to get found, but the value leads to the found, actually. The value leads to the found.
Right. And have you had proper government collaborations when it comes to more impact and getting more people involved in what you do, maybe in contribution?
Well, we don't take a grant from the government. We do have a partnership with the government, and they support our, the concept that we bring, and we for now we don't take the fund from the government. Of course, it doesn't mean we're not going to take it someday. Yeah, if the project that we have is something that and we have the same objective, the same impact has goal. Yes, okay, yes. But in terms of supporting from the government, they listen to us when we are doing our advocacy, and they listen to us when we are making suggestions to improve certain area. Yeah, the society, which is very, very interesting for us.
Now, have you planned on going more than Mali? Do you have expansion plans so that this impactful work would cascade to other African countries?
You know, we are Malian, we are African first of all. We are African, and we are African from Mali. And from Mali, we want to be someday everywhere in Africa. You know, we used to see companies and the foundation coming from Western countries, you know, being present everywhere in Africa. And our dream one day, and our work is really focusing on that, is to be an African Malian organization that is not based only in Mali, but that is based everywhere in Africa, and that is playing a global role in terms of civic tech, in terms of other area where we are working. For example, we have a project that we call Media Scan, which is basically a project that supports the gender inclusivity. And this project is a African project, but not only, because we are even in Nepal doing projects in Nepal from Africa. So I'm particularly proud of this type of project, and this is what we are trying to do. Yeah. So hopefully next time we should be in Nigeria.
You should. It's beautiful here, I promise. You should. But if you have to come to Nigeria, with all that you do, what would you focus on? I noticed that one of the your core passion is sustainable development goals. So what would your focus be on?
Yeah, we definitely will be on. You know, I think in our key element, which is media development, and also we have other sectors, for example, agricultures. But there is other good business in Nigeria where we can support young people
Right,
using technology. Yeah.
right. Well, that's so wonderful. But speaking about sustainable development goals and the work that you do in Mali, I mean, I'm an advocate for sustainable development goals here in Nigeria. However, in Mali, is there wide awareness around sustainable development goals?
Yeah, there is awareness around it, particularly by the UN. You know, UN agency in Mali. We have different UN agency who are really advocating a lot for it. But from the civil society side, or from the business side, it's not as developed as it can be. You know, so yes, but the most important thing also sometimes is, of course, there is not necessarily advocating sometime, but when you see the practices that people are doing, definitely there are practices that really help to
Yes.
achieve the sustainable development goal.
But is there targeted intentionality from the citizens? You've mentioned government, you've mentioned the UN department in Mali, but citizens, are they holding government accountable to know that, I mean, there's the sustainable development goals that ensure that I have quality education, zero hunger. You should do something about that. Are there that agitation for it?
Yeah, well, from our side, yes, we do it through advocacy a lot. We advocate a lot, but when you take the citizen, like the common citizen, no, they are not even much more aware, you know, aware the sustainable development goal. I mean, if you go in the street, you meet with a normal young Malians. You ask him, oh. Do you try to hold the government accountable? He will tell you, oh, you know, I'm trying to get a new job. So basically, someone who you know, because in the sustainable development goal, people should have a good job, you know, a
Exactly.
decent job, and he doesn't know that if he hold the government accountable, definitely he
You
will
would
at
have
the
a
end
job.
benefits. Yeah, you would have a job. So, which is the type of issues that we have, and I guess it's something that is not just in Mali. It's something that you will meet in Burkina Faso, or you will meet maybe in other African
countries, right? So in your concluding thoughts, what would you say to young people who are looking and maybe very skeptical about technology as the next way to go to tackle their unemployment state?
Well, I will say that technology are an opportunity, and technology make life change. And I invite them to definitely get engaged with technology so their life can be changed. They don't need to go. They don't need to take the sea and die in the sea, because they have life through the technology. Technology give life. Technology give wealth.
So Tidiani Togola, thank you so much for being part of the program. It's been very interesting hearing you talk about what you do with Tuwindi Foundation, and more grease to your elbow. Continue doing what you're doing. Yeah, I'm hoping one day you come to Nigeria and maybe help out in some of the areas we need very dire help in. Thank you.
Thank you very much to you.
Okay, this is where we draw the curtains on Joy Asonye Live. We've been discussing with Tidiani Togola, the founder and CEO Tuwindi Foundation. He reached us via Skype all the way from Bamako, Mali. But I hope you learned a thing or two. Technology is the next way. Do what you can to stay abreast. Having said that, have a wonderful evening. And be rest assured, we'll be back tomorrow for yet another interesting edition.